What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? My name is Jade, and I'm joined by my good friend and collaborator, Simon Anderson. Simon, how are you doing this evening?
Good afternoon, Jade. I'm doing fantastic. It is muggy as all hell up here in Tamaki Makaurau. It feels like I'm in some East Asian country on a 3-week bender, sweating just sitting still.
Yeah, so much for those healthy homes with those heat pumps, eh?
Oh, the heat.
I don't have one of those either, so I know what you mean. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. You can't tell because I'm wearing black, but yeah, suffering over here. It is another Wednesday, which means another podcast, and we have two very interesting topics for you this afternoon. Simon, what do you have for everybody today?
Not just interesting topics, but completely unrelated. Not even closely related at all, which is awesome. I've got some really cool news that has come out of Israel in the last day, actually, just the last day, yesterday. I've seen some reputable in quotation marks news sources pick up this story, so I feel like it's worth sharing without looking like a total crank. But basically, it's about some ex-head of security at Israel talking about a galactic federation of aliens, and they've been talking with the United States and Israel for the last few years, at least, apparently. So I want to know what they've been saying.
So I know we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes, but right off the bat, I just want to react. I feel like Donald Trump would not be able to keep that a secret. He'd be wanting to position himself saying, I'm doing these really big deals with these really strange aliens. We're making the biggest deals we've ever done. We're going to rule the universe.
Well, I mean, he did the whole Space Force thing, right? Everyone told him he was an absolute lunatic. So, I mean, I get, in one way, he's been, like, alluding to it. You know, everyone thought, well, why the hell do we need to militarize space? But, I mean, apparently there are international threats to space sovereignty from different other countries, but apparently there's some other life out there that we need to, I guess, address and communicate with. So who knows?
Sounds amazing. And for me, I believe it was over the weekend. I should have actually got these facts before I came on. But sometime very recently, the safety warehouse signaled that they may be dropping something out of the sky. Some people thought that was actual cash to the value of $160,000. I'd like to explore that today, and also explore whether we have the most gullible public in all the nations of the world. But before that, Simon, I'd like to drop the question of the day. Are you ready?
Always. Born ready.
Awesome. And hopefully, I'd love to do a bit of a survey as to whether the quality of the questions has been maintained. Maybe we can debrief about that before the show ends. But the question of the day, if I've not spelt anything incorrectly, is it possible that you have never made a mistake? Is it possible that you have never made a mistake? Simon Anderson, over to you.
Part of me wants to argue for the yes camp. But like objectively, I feel. I mean, you can argue either way, right? So like, the best way to go through life is that you have moments of triumph, and then you have lessons to learn. Like and the only way to live a life without always looking backwards and judging yourself is to be confident in the fact that you make the best decision with the information you had at the time. and that's all you can aim for. Like you can never have all the information to have the most completely informed decision to act always in your best interest, but you're always going to act in your best interest with the information that you have at hand. So in that way, you probably can never make a mistake because you're always doing the right thing, unless you. Although if you purposely do the wrong thing in the situation, you're not making a mistake because you're doing it on purpose. But I mean, I make spelling mistakes all the time. Autocorrect corrects my spelling mistakes. Does that then nullify the question right then and there? That if autocorrect exists, it then, or are you saying is it possible that no, it's definitely not possible that I have never made a mistake.
Is it? Yeah. So if I can put the question back up for the audience, because I realize it can take a bit to get your head around. So the question I put was, is it possible that you, and granted I didn't underline this, is it possible that you have never made a mistake? So, have you got a final answer there, or should I give it a crack?
I have an answer, and it is no. I have definitely made mistakes. Just as trivial as spelling mistakes.
Okay. For me, welcome to Rachel Peterson in the chat, by the way. I know that handle from anywhere.
Long time no see, Rachel. Hope the entrepreneurship venture is going well.
I'm hearing nothing but good things, so
That's
it'll be good to have Rachel give us a bit of an update on the business. But just before we go into the main topics of today, there's two parts to this for me, really. It's like, in whose opinion? So people can always perceive that you made a mistake, but the more that I thought about the concept of a mistake, the more I realized it doesn't actually exist. Like, even if you, like your example of typing a word wrong, that's kind of by design. So if you remember when we had the physical keyboards that you had to like tap multiple times to get a letter, I think the convention was called T9 keyboards. T9 keyboards, it was all about the shortened words to get your message across quicker because we were having to type so much. The issue we've got now is we can type more, we can type faster, but because it's on a glass screen, you're going to hit the wrong key every now and again. Now, you put your thumb exactly where you put your thumb. So, I don't think you made a mistake. I think the technology just hasn't caught up with what we need to write our messages. So I don't think it's possible at all to ever make a mistake.
So, like, to go further on that, even when you do spell a word with the wrong letters, you're intentionally, like, you're putting your thumb or your finger, if you're typing on a keyboard with a computer, you're putting your fingers intentionally on keys. You might put your finger on the wrong key for the right word you want to type in. But that movement wasn't a mistake. It was exactly where it was supposed to be. And like, the only way you can make a mistake is if you were like unconscious and somehow did something that you didn't want to do. I feel like that would be the only way you could do a mistake.
So Rachel in the chat says, only mistakes I'm not okay with is if anyone had a bad impact from it. Like to think I heal that if I have. So Rachel's going into the idea of where we've wronged somebody, we've definitely made a mistake. And I suppose where I was coming from is like, even though situations have occurred in my life that I didn't like I might have flipped out of my wheelchair and got really hurt, or been playing wheelchair rugby and literally had some dude run over the top of me and take a chunk out of my back, which is like, I'm not even exaggerating.
Ouch.
Like those are not great things, but I'm not sure they were mistakes. They were just things that happen, and when you think at like a physics level, like a atomic physics level, the more you come to understand that nothing is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You being on this earth with a chance of that occurring of 500 billion to 1, that you were born as a human and not a tree. You can't tell me that was a mistake. That wasn't a mistake.
Yeah, I read something on Twitter really recently about mistakes or things that happen to you negatively, right? So we personalize events to feed our ego. Someone cuts you off in traffic, well, you get angry at that because you personalize that event. Someone, like you get fired from your job, you personalize that because in our brains it is that you allocate a certain amount of negative value to that situation, because then when you express that situation to other people, you're expecting to then receive like a reciprocal emotional response from that person. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, woe was me, I lost my job, and then someone comes along to feel sorry for you to make you feel better. Whereas like it's just something that happened. Like if you were the best employee you could be and you still got fired, then you shouldn't really feel sorry for yourself at all. It just happened. Like that kind of shit happens every day. And the one thing that makes it really clear is when someone really close to you passes away and you're just absolutely grief stricken and you're looking around at the world thinking, why the fuck is everybody still doing stuff? Like, my whole world stopped. Why is everybody still doing things like nothing's happened? And it's just so clear that things happen every day, every moment things happen, and it's just up to us to protect ourselves from letting them affect us so much, and just being able to accept that an event is just an event without any sort of emotion attached to it.
Yep. Rachel says, potentially you're right. What I consider a mistake may have been there, and my learning opportunity, mind bending as usual, you two. So we're bending Rachel's mind. I don't mind that at all. So that was the question of the day. If you've got an opinion about it, if you believe mistakes actually exist, feel free to leave a comment in chat or later on YouTube in the comments. Simon, I'm pretty keen to go to your topic first.
Yeah, by all means.
Because I feel like we're going to be here a while unpacking this.
Yeah, so let's go to the NBC News website, huh?
Yeah.
If you've got the link, or do you just want to drop the link in the...
I'll do both. So I'll pull it up and... No, I've got RNZ. That's where you go.
Oh, no. There's another one above that in the Discord. You'll see it. Higher up.
I'm not going to be able to go there. Can you put it on my Facebook? Because if I do, I'm going to break the scenes.
Alrighty.
Thanks. Sorry to be demanding.
No worries. One moment, please, caller.
I did not see the change. Sorry, Simon. Cool. So I'm just gonna pull this up on the stream. It's gonna take me a few seconds to queue it. So the NBC article, right?
Yes, please.
Yep. And I've got my thing there, but I'm going to turn my camera off just so people can see. Okay, over to you, Simon. We're on screen now.
Alrighty. So if you are very new to the aliens game, or you're not quite certain that aliens exist out there, this might be a little bit confronting. The title of the article is "Former Israeli Space Security Chief Says Extraterrestrials Exist and Trump knows about it. A galactic federation of aliens has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are." And the guy's name is Haim Ashed, if I'm saying that right. So basically, this guy was head of space security for years, decades. And he's 87 now, and I guess he's got to the point where he's like, fuck it, I don't care. One of the quotes from the articles is that, you know, if I'd come out and said this 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. But I guess he's kind of identified that society has kind of shifted, and we're a little bit more open to the idea of that aliens exist, and that we could already have been contacted and could be in contact with them. I mean, it's hard to know how real this is, but this guy's pretty, like, if you look up his personal career, he's a pretty well respected dude. He's got lots of PhDs and lots of articles and university writings, and obviously worked for the Israeli government for a long time. So what he says should have some weighting to it.
This is definitely not a satirical website either, right, Simon?
No, I mean, it's NBC News. Like, I'm not giving you a different link. It was first reported in the Jerusalem Post, I believe. That's the first time I saw it, and that was yesterday. The article goes on to say some other things. Apparently, there's an underground base in the depths of Mars where there are American astronauts and aliens hanging out together. Potentially why Elon Musk wants to go to Mars so badly. But yes, so I don't know what other gems to pull out of this this article, but it's just so, I guess, intriguing, because something like this can come out from, you know, a reputable person from a well-established country, and then be published in some reputable news sources, and just not be everywhere. Like, this is a guy who's, okay, this is like, imagine the ex-minister of defense, who was it? Ron Mark or whatever it was, the guy from NZ First. He comes out and says, yeah, look, there's aliens, we've been working with them, they just think we're too stupid and would, you know, revolt across the globe if we found out there was aliens. We wouldn't know how to handle it. But yeah, I've given up holding on to this information. Here's the aliens. But that's like what this is, and it's just not, like, it's not on your 6 o'clock news. It wasn't covered at all in any local media. I've just seen it in the States. I think aliens would be super cool to find out about.
So, 1 sec, sorry, the scenes are playing up for me. So where do you sit on this? Do you want aliens to exist?
Absolutely. I would be, like, horrified and a little bit saddened to know that we're definitely the only living organisms in the entire universe. Like, how sad would that be?
Nothing's a mistake.
No, of course not.
So you really want to not be the only civilization?
Yeah, I mean, I'm, you know, you see movies like Star Wars, and you see, you know, like an example of a Galactic Federation. They all sit in their little hover podiums and they float around the room debating intergalactic policy. I mean, if that was reality, that would be so cool. I mean, maybe I would never see that step, you know, to see humans represented at that level. Maybe that's for next few generations. But I mean, if this is the kind of stuff we're getting disclosed, and just bear in mind, right, the US government either denied or just flat out refused to comment on aliens existing at all, and then late last year, just all of a sudden, boom, just declassified those US Navy clips of sources flying around that had been on the internet for quite a while, but they'd never commented, never like attributed to them to any sort of substance or said that they were any good. And then all of a sudden they just declassified these documents, and those videos were a part of that document dump. And everyone was like, holy shit, the US just admitted that the aliens exist, and now we see stuff like this. It's like, but is there like this planned disclosure program? You know what I mean? To
PR exercise to get us used to the idea.
Yeah. Or is it all fake and aliens aren't real, and that they're using it to try and usher in a new one world government? You know what I mean? We can't interact with the aliens unless we're unified with and I don't know. I'm getting a little bit tinfoil hatty at the moment.
No, that's alright. I mean,
but you gotta question all possibilities. Like, so either this guy's full of shit, and all of the other footage of UFOs and stuff is rubbish, or aliens exist, or they don't exist and we're being fooled to believe that they do. You know what I mean? It's like, which layer is the truth?
Why would a decorated government officer though lie? Like, what would he have to gain from lying? Like,
exactly, the dude's 87. What's he trying to do now that he couldn't have done ages by coming out with this? Now, you know what, he's enjoyed his life. He was probably worried about, like he said, being hospitalized. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So Rachel in the chat says, I think it's almost strange to think we are the only ones. If humans are on Earth, then does that not prove that life is possible? So why could it not have happened twice, 5 times, 10 times? It's possible, isn't it? And I think, I think, you know, kind of like believing in God, I'm pretty prepared to keep that door open, that aliens exist. Like, I'm not harming anybody by believing aliens exist. The one thing I can foresee though is politics getting really complicated when aliens want to have a say-so about our operations, and they want to start trade deals, and they want to start you know immigration programs, and then we start seeing aliens more readily just shelling out on Earth. There's gonna be a lot to take on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot to embed into everyday life.
So, I don't know, man. Like I feel like my daughter's generation will be much more up for this. Like, they'll be like, yeah, we kind of knew there was aliens, and now I work for the Earth Immigration Department, and we kind of... You know, I can sort of see all that for my daughter's generation. I don't know. I mean, even though I'm passionate about it and would support it, I'd still be a little bit standoffish about actually having to deal with aliens. How about you?
Imagine seeing like comet trails into the Earth atmosphere, and it's like an illegal alien immigrant.
Yeah, and it's like, would you sign up to work for the Earth Immigration Department or intergalactic ice?
Deporting, yeah. I mean, well, that's the Men in Black, isn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. So I mean, you've Rachel said we blew her mind, but you've blown my mind because I didn't think that we were. Yeah, I didn't think we were anywhere near having to be talking about aliens, but you brought the good once again.
I mean, it's like it's an interesting topic because nobody is coming out and trying to say, look, this is the undeniable truth. Like, no one's coming out and say, look, we've never had any evidence of aliens. This guy's a crackpot, he's an idiot, he's got dementia now or something like that. You know, there is just no way anything about this is ever remotely possible. Or, you know, no one's saying, hey, look, yep, aliens exist. Or, you know, at least the probability of aliens exist, but we've never been contacted. We can't confirm it, but we believe they exist. But there's no dominant position on it. And this kind of article in this statement is just existing in the middle, trying to challenge what is common, like what is commonly understood.
Yeah, man. Oh,
like,
well,
I just want to know.
Yeah, just one thought that's come to the fore for me is, oh well, there goes house prices. I mean, if we've got to deal with each other and aliens taking up space, oh fuck it, mate.
I mean, what if they've got no money though? Is it going to be like that South Park episode? I'm not sure if you've seen it, where the people from the future develop time travel and they come back and start taking all the jobs for like 0.01 cents an hour, because when they put it in a bank account it's worth billions in like a few hundred years.
I mean, we spoke about this last episode, like, you know, if I was born 1,000 years ago, I'd be claiming that land, bro. I'll be claiming that land. It's sitting pretty right now. Rachel in the chat says, I hope they can teach us stuff. They want to understand us. I want to understand humans. I see more good versus evil on Earth, rich versus poor, eco versus don't give a shit. I would love to see something that unites us as one Earth. That is deep. But the only thing about that, Rachel, is I do worry about the concept of that it's almost like saying, gee, I hope Britain unites New Zealand when they visit.
Yeah, I'm sure the people in the United Kingdom had some similar ideas when they were trying to take over the world. You know, belief in that their way of life was the best way forward, and that everybody needs to get on board with it. I think we can get to a climate where there is a lot more understanding and goodwill between different countries, but I would never want to get to a point where all the countries all operate the same under the same laws, and it just, you know, we turn into global citizens. I don't think that's a good way to be. That's too much power for the few to hold on to. You know what I mean? Countries need their interdependence, because if one country decides to be a bad faith actor, the rest need to be able to step in and challenge behavior. But if every person in power and every land mass across the world is all part of the same organization, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, no,
and I mean, we're pretty much there already. Like you know, with organizations like the UN, World Health Organization, there is just already an insane amount of collaboration across the globe.
And those liberal idiots that gave Labour a single mandate. Perfect example of, you know, destroying the world piece by piece. And speaking of destroying the world piece by piece, oh wait, we'll go to Rachel first. True that, so horrid all the death due to COVID, but have seen community unite through it, and I agree with what you're saying, Simon.
I wonder what, you know, the global population rate has been, how it's been affected over the course of this so far. Like, do you think there's been a reduction in the death rate due to just everybody not doing anything? Or do you think that because of the COVID deaths, the population death rates kind of increased?
Two comments I can make around this. One is, people are definitely still dying of things not to do with COVID. I lost a family member just before lockdown. Before the first lockdown, so it's kind of not fair to include it and all that, but COVID was actually identified in December. December 19th, so I sort of still lump it in with all that. We've lost about 3 million, if my numbers are correct. 3 million people globally. It's not actually been a lot, but Simon's fact checking me right now. It's definitely not 100 million. I was actually shocked about how low the number was, and I think it's about 3 million COVID deaths. But you can pull it up for us, Simon. Rachel says, sorry for your loss, Jade. Thank you very much for your kind words, Rachel.
From worldometers.info/coronavirus, so who knows how trustworthy this is, but total coronavirus cases last updated 9th of December, 68.5 million cases. Total deaths, just over 1.5 million. So we've had 47.
Less than what I said.
Yeah, half of what you said.
So, I mean, in terms of... We can all rest in the fact that Corona was not about population control, Simon. I think it's fair to say, it's behaving like a pandemic. It's touching around the edges, but it's not wiping out the human race. Would you agree?
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Let's go birth rate versus death rate year on year. Let's see if we can get it. It only goes up to 2016. Well, that's no help. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if we can actually get some cool stats on, total world deaths and births and what sort of impact COVID's had.
Are you surprised by how low that number is?
You think it's low?
I reckon for a global number it is. You think about how much the media has pumped this up to be so detrimental and so world-ending. Think about how the media have pumped it, and then look at that number. Doesn't
it's like all of Auckland dying.
Is that all?
Yeah, exactly. You think about how fast New Zealand would recover if all of Auckland just dropped dead and people flooded in from the regions to fill everybody's place.
Rachel, before we move to our next article, Rachel would like us to speak on the vaccination.
Okay, here's my pontifications. I'm worried about the speed, right? So, like Jay just said, COVID was identified in December. No one thought it was anything other than something for China to worry about for a few months until all the Chinese people started, or all the people going in and out of China started spreading it around the world. So when New Zealand started imposing travel restrictions early in this year, and then we started going into forms of lockdown like March. So at some point around the start of this year, people were starting to do scientific work to identify the virus and figure out how it works. And then you've got to wonder, so how long does it take from virus identification for then scientists to start saying, okay, we need to start making a vaccine for this virus. That's the only way we're going to defeat it. And then once they've decided, okay, we need to start making a vaccine, from that point, how long does it take to make a vaccine, test that it works, and then test that it's safe, and that it doesn't have any adverse side effects that make it not worth using on people? And then you've got to say, can they complete that in less than a year?
Rachel,
they've never done that before.
Rachel raises a very good point. Formaldehyde 2.0. So what formaldehyde was given as a morning sickness medication for women. It was seen as very effective, very safe, except their children started to be born with no arms and no legs. So, Rachel, you're absolutely right about having concerns about formaldehyde. Rachel and I both know people from that community. You know, they're never going to have any sort of quality of life. Like you can, I know very successful people that have formaldehyde, but what I want to say is their life has been robbed, right? Like, they could have had arms, they could have had legs, but the mother was just given really bad information.
So one of the leading companies developing vaccines for Pfizer, Pfizer,
silent.
Yeah, Pfizer. So the way the vaccine works is that it's like they call it an mRNA vaccine, that it goes after the RNA. And they were saying that the protein that it looks for or deals with, I didn't read into it that far, but it's to do with forming the placenta in the womb of women, and so that they think that potentially there's a risk of the vaccine that they're developing making women go infertile because they can't produce placenta.
Oh, fuck off.
And I went to just find that, and so I googled I googled Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine causes infertility, and then it's like all these articles from a day or two ago. No evidence, verify, fact check does, you know, it's like there's lots of articles and all they're saying is no, what you're saying is not true.
Hannah's here.
Hey guys.
Hello, Hannah.
Hey Simon, how you going? Sorry, I haven't been feeling
you.
that well, so I haven't joined in. Sorry, I've missed you.
Yeah, me too.
The whole thing with this vaccine, it's been rolled out just like that, and it had to be. But the thing is, what you just said, there's no facts on that. Well, when has there been the chance to actually test that?
Yeah.
Who's actually had a child?
Who's actually had a
deformed
deformed child yet? So we haven't fact checked it at all. Do you get it?
It was only rolled out a week ago in the first instance. So how has it been able to be tested that it's now not causing infidelity?
Yeah, well, infertility, not infidelity.
Infertility.
You wouldn't have
different
people running around cheating on each other.
Yeah. Infertility. Yeah. Sorry. Infertility, very different word, very different thing. Yeah, we don't want it to be causing
the same
cheating.
because it has the same effect. Yeah. So Rachel's got a lot of comments here. She's got the
Hi, Rachel.
She's got the MDA protein. So no danger is going in her, and she's not authorizing it for her children either. Disability industry going to go off though if we're right. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more disabled people.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And an article that I was listening to on good old Alexa, she was actually saying that this is just one of many vaccines that is going to be launched from now until over 2021.
Apparently it has to be stored at minus 72 degrees as well. Like it's not an easy vaccine to look after.
That's so cold. It's hard to fathom how cold that is.
Yeah, no, apparently you can't store it in a normal bar fridge like how your GP stores your vaccines. It's not going to be like that at all. But in one of the worst segues ever, we're gonna move now to a piece that I'd like to talk about this evening. Let me just make sure I've got the right windows up. I'd like to talk about the fact that some people showed up to an event where they were apparently promised a share of $160,000, and we've got that on screen now. So this is in regards to Safety Warehouse. They're a company, and they were wanting to do a bit of promotion, but also spread a bit of Christmas cheer, I suppose. The event was marketed across social media as New Zealand's first ever mass cash drop, with a promise of 100,000. I heard 160.
I heard 162.
And value dropping from the sky. People turned up in their hundreds after securing free tickets, but when the cash started raining down and people realized it was fake money, the atmosphere turned volatile, according to witnesses.
I was also told that families were promised that there was going to be a barbecue and it was going to be safe and friendly good for their families to turn up, good for their kids to turn up. And I also heard that people travelled from outside of Auckland to actually be there. So they spent money to get there in the hopes to make money, receive money.
That's not a smart investment.
No.
Say that again, Simon, because that's the most amazing thing I've heard all week. Say that again, please.
I said that's not a smart investment.
There
Investing
we go.
your time and money to travel to Auckland in the hopes of fighting off other desperate individuals for some cash, like it is pretty predatory. Like,
here we go, predatory hell.
Well, not everybody has the literacy and, I guess, problem-solving skills and just the understanding of advertising that I guess we have the value of. So it's like they just, I guess they kind of took things at a bit more face value, and just thought that or they just cooked up some fantasy in their head based off reading half an article. You know, they saw the Facebook event and just, you know, their mind just took them away from reality of what they were actually participating in. I actually heard that some people paid for their tickets, like someone obviously got a free ticket and then, you know, said, oh, I don't want to go. You can have my ticket for $20. You'll get more than $20 anyway.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Rachel says, personal responsibility, and if you think that's safe, Darwin's theory. I like it, Rachel. I'm liking that. I'm loving this energy from you, because I absolutely agree. And if I could just come back to the article quickly, there was a spokesperson, someone from the media, someone from a PR agency said, he said real funds were given away, and he never expected the inclusion of vouchers would have created such hostility and
What do you mean?
And a
Vouchers?
misunderstood narrative.
Like, nobody's innocent in this situation. Their vouchers were designed to look really similar to $5 notes. And I'm sure you've got another article to verify how convincing they are. But
Well,
I mean, you can't just drop vouchers that mimic our real money and go, I didn't know people thought this would, be real money.
What's your thought, Simon? Do you think it's almost on the fringes of being you know, you could say it's fraud because, you know, they're looking like they're actually mimicking actual $5.
Yeah, I mean, you could get them for like creating counterfeit currency potentially if you felt like it.
Oh.
I heard Jacinda, you know, saying, you know, come on, you need to make a statement, you need to actually apologise, and, you know, legally, we are investigating this. This is not right. There must be something legally that we can actually look into further for this, because these families, it's not right. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm mindful of Simon's time. We got 15 minutes left on the show. Well, my time as well. I've got stuff to do, not just Simon. We got 15 minutes left in the show. And what I want to say is personal responsibility, as Rachel said. Don't put all your hopes and dreams in the charts. It's something that I would always offer people. Work on creating your opportunities and your resources in a way that's controlled by you. Create partnerships, create wealth, you know, build your personal brand. Those are things that you should be doing, not zooming up from Rotorua to get a chance at grabbing a couple of $100 bills. Hold on, Rachel says, should they not have had to apply for a permit for it? Well,
I mean, I'm sure they did. The whole event would have been above board in terms of the logistics. They surely wouldn't have done an illegal event.
I actually have a clip. Simon, I'm mindful we don't have the rig set up, but if you allow me to, I've got a small clip of the car getting rocked and the fences being pulled down. Would you be okay if I just played that?
I want to see that shit real bad.
Okay, yeah. So I've got that. Simon won't be able to hear it, but for you guys at home, here's this. Oh, where's the sound? I can't hear it either.
That's right. We just want to see the damage and destruction.
Can you actually see that though?
Yeah.
Was it in a black box?
Oh, all I'm seeing is COVID-19 media briefings reduced.
Oh.
To...
Maybe I need to refresh the page. Sorry, this is a live show, guys.
Could you tell?
I can't hear anything. Simon can't hear anything. It's all good.
And now we're giving free advertising away. Do not consider buying products from this business, whatever it is. Oh, actually, no, they're alright. I take that back.
Here we go. Now, you might not be able to see this, but this...
Okay, that was a bottle. No damage done. It would be quite freaky. The security guards are marching the car. There's people obviously being quite aggressive towards them. No damage. Just verbal assaults.
Oh, he got rocked over the chair.
Oh, he just fell over. I mean, that's just your own idiotic. Not looking out.
Oh!
Oh, yep. Water bottle again.
Oh, shit. Okay, here's where the tussle really goes down.
Oh, it's between the security and the angry people.
You promised us free money for no reason.
Oh, okay. I can see actually as that car was driving away, there was a big hole in the back of the window and a big windscreen at the back of the car.
When was this event?
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, not Sunday.
So what does that title of that article say, Jade?
Okay, I haven't even got to the point of this. So, safety warehouse giveaway. Fake $5 notes used to dupe Hamilton Bar. So, ladies and gentlemen, the saga continues. Fake money from the controversial promotional cash drop in Auckland has been used to dupe a bar into providing free drinks in Hamilton. On Saturday, work apparel company the Safety Warehouse hosted a $100,000 cash drop in Central Auckland's AT Square. We've covered that. Tensions flared, blah blah blah. And then it gets to the fact that $20 of lookalike bills had been left in the till. Well, we're not talking about a big grab then, are we?
No. But I mean, that article kind of reinforces the fact that those vouchers were at least, convincing enough for someone who's working bar staff to be able to flick through them with his hands, to feel them and not immediately think,
Yeah.
this ain't real money. Because money's got a real distinct feel to it. Like, as soon as you grab something, if it doesn't feel like a note,
Yeah.
It's actually designed that way on purpose. The blind,
sorry, go ahead.
The blind community had a role in designing tender in New Zealand.
Yeah. So our notes have got some of the best anti-money laundering features of currency in the world.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to know, was any change given? Like, say a person bought a drink, and did they get any change?
The article didn't say that.
No.
No,
So
I mean, we're talking about stents. That would have been,
That would have been amazing if that happened. It wouldn't just be free drinks, it'd be actually change also.
Getting paid for drinks,
Yeah.
that'd be nice. I just want to touch on Rachel's comment. Sorry, Hannah, for cutting you off. She said, "Mind you, PR guy sure got some PR." I mean, yeah. If you subscribe to the "no publicity is bad publicity" mantra, I mean, this has been an overwhelming success.
I mean, if you call PR people jumping off the back of your car and kicking the back glass in, man, wow.
Yeah.
But I come back to the fact that it is my sincere hope that my daughter never becomes the type of person that says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna get given $5,000 for no reason." It's like, it's not gonna work like that. You gotta make your own opportunities. You gotta make your own wealth. Like, yeah, sure, you can win lotto, and if you want to hedge your bets, buy your lotto ticket, and all the best with that, because some people definitely do win, but be practical about it. It might never be you, and work hard. Just do work.
And also, though, with Lotto, the difference is, that you are spending money for a lotto ticket and may never get anything from it.
And well, exactly.
So, yeah.
Rachel says she won't. You're her dad. Most definitely.
Yeah, she won't.
I can't even tell you how much I'll work so hard to make sure she's not that kind of person. Simon, what are your final thoughts on this article? I know it was really brief. The facts are really simple. People were just choosy beggars and wanted to get some quick cash for Christmas. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's some poor comprehension and research, and just decision making on the side of the public who attended. And then I also think there's probably been some scamming. I mean, I need to do some research into how they advertise the gig, because if I want to read their promotion about it, and if I still think, there's no way I would have gone near that event, then there's some fair amount of blame left on the individuals. But if I look at what they use to promote the event and think, oh man, that's so ambiguous, or they've really tried to imply that there's going to be lots of money when they haven't made any promises, then I might change my judgment. But I just don't think anyone's clean in this matter. There's decision making from both sides of this thing that obviously made some poor decisions.
There's actually two things that I'd like to do a bit more research into. Is one, what were the words around it? Because it could have easily been worded that there'll be $100,000 worth of money given, meaning by the vouchers, by the percent off of our clothes, it would be worth $100,000. How have they gone and tried to word it? And yet a lot of families did kind of think, well, the one or two I did see on the TV talking about it was saying, well, I was relying on that money for Christmas. So that's a real shame, but it's really interesting about the marketing.
I tell you what I'm gonna do, and I'm going out on a limb, and like Simon, if you want to deal with me later, that's totally fine. If you're watching the stream and you know of someone who's going through some actual hardship right now, that could use something special or a little hand up this Christmas, I actually want to hear about it. You can email me at kiaora@epicstudios.co.nz.
Please.
And I'd actually like to, you know, if there are these situations, if there are these families, I might be only able to help one or two. But reach out to me, kiaora@epicstudios.co.nz, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd be totally random.
That is pretty random. I was just looking at the live stream while I was reading from the Safety Warehouse website, and I was kind of laughing and smiling at what I was looking at while Hannah was kind of talking about something sad. So I wasn't laughing at what Hannah was saying. I actually just found the URL for the event on the Safety Warehouse website, but then when you actually click on it, it says 404 page. This is not the page you are looking for. Nothing to see here. Please move on. Click here to continue shopping. So they've obviously deleted the event page, but that won't stop me because I know about the Wayback Machine. Have you heard of the Wayback Machine, Jade?
I've not used the Wayback Machine. I'm familiar with Google Cash, but they don't cash anymore, do they?
I'm not sure, but the Wayback Machine, basically you put in a web address and pick a moment in time, and you can see what that website looked like at that point. It's what was used a lot to catch National out before, when they had those petitions on their websites that they then quickly removed.
So then you've got the original page up?
Oh, let me just do some quick. Okay. Copy this. Paste it in here. And let's say, when was it saved? Okay, let's go October 30th. So that must have been when it
day before.
Alright, so
oh no, it wasn't the day before, it was last week, sorry.
Yeah.
October 30th is like a month ago.
Yeah.
Events, photo drop. Just says hashtag follow the drop. No, I can't. Okay, I can't find anything.
Wow, they sanitized it, eh?
I'll have to do some more digging, see if I can get it to pop up.
Well, we can look back around on this for next week's show. We can loop back around.
Did you have a question for the week, or?
Oh yeah, you totally missed that. We do that at the front.
I know you do that at the front, but I'm just saying, did you do it? That's cool.
We've got to end the show just now,
Yes.
but
that's cool.
but I can let you know the question of the week, and we can revisit. From me, big thank you to Simon for teaching me about the fact we do have a galactic United Nations Federation, United Nations somewhere out there. Simon, any final words for the people at home?
Thank you for entertaining my crackpot conspiracy theories. No, I always will come here with interesting news to try and challenge what is considered, status quo, what is the accepted narrative. I think there's a lot more magic and mystery in the universe and here at home than we're led to believe. And yeah, when I can put my name behind claims, I'll happily bring some really cool stuff to the podcast, because that's what I like to talk about.
Awesome. Good to have you along in the final section, Hannah. To everybody at home, thank you for being here today. Big contribution from our good friend Rachel Peterson.
Thank you.
And remember, we hear lots about these families doing it tough. So if you know of any, kiaora, we all know how to spell that by now, at epicstudios.co.nz. Please reach out to me.
Please. Both of us will get it, so there's no chance of missing it.
And I'm not saying I'll help every single person that reaches out, but for the ones that really speak to me, let's see what we can do. So for now, guys, thank you for being a part of the channel. Thank you for being a part of the journey. Please stay awesome. And Simon?
We'll see you in the next one.
See you guys in the next one. Thank you, Simon and Jade.
Awesome.